Learn from my mistakes. Be willing to have the hard conversations. Learn about it on this one. Okay, so hard conversations are not fun to have. That's why they're called hard conversations. But one of the biggest mistakes that we've ever made with marketing is not being willing to have those hard conversations with our clients. I'll talk specifically a little bit about marketing, but I want you guys to be able to apply this to your own businesses as well. So a lot of the inquiries that we've gotten for different digital marketing services over the years have been for SEO, search engine optimization. And while that is a fantastic piece of digital marketing, especially for long-term success when it comes to marketing, one of the things about that is that it's not an instant thing. So it's not like you could just enter an SEO contract and you're going to get 1,000 leads per day within the week or something like that. It just doesn't work that way. So one of the things that we always do, and I'm not doing this video at all to toot my own horn or make myself sound awesome, although hopefully you think I'm awesome. It's more to get your wheels spinning about the ways to have these hard conversations and what it can mean for you and your business, because we've definitely made this mistake. So somebody asks about SEO, and then we'll start to dig into it, and we'll say, well, what is it that you need? What is it that you want to get out of digital marketing? And sometimes it's leads, sometimes it's branding, sometimes it's long-term success. Sometimes SEO is a great fit, and sometimes it just doesn't match what they want. It doesn't match their budget, doesn't match their current status when it comes to their presence, and it doesn't match their brand as a whole. So one of the things that we've taken it upon ourselves to do at Big Construction Branding and our parent company, Business Marketing Solutions Group, is we call it the A to D versus A to Z process. So an A to D process would be like, I'm looking for this, we'll call it A, and I want you to provide this, which is B. So I'm looking for this service A, and I want you to provide this, which is B. Hopefully I get the result, which is C, A through C type of thing. And more often than not, what ends up happening is that no matter how successful we are at that initial process, so we'll call that the A to D process, it ends up falling short because they're looking for that one fix or that one solution to their overarching problem, and we don't consult them on everything overall. Now, I know I'm speaking about very vague terms on this one, so I'll be a little bit more specific on this. I'll never forget, we had a roofer. This has been approximately a year ago, something like that. And God knows we've worked with a ton of different roofers over the years. And this roofer, we end up getting 241 qualified leads. It was the exact number. I distinctly remember it, over the course of about 3 months. So it ends up being approximately 80 leads per month, all under his budget. Everything's all working. And when the job starts, he's complimenting us, talking about how great of a job we're doing. And, we just think everything's going great. So what happens when he gets all these leads? Well, next thing that happens is that, his process was faulty in the sense that he just wasn't providing a good value to his customer. So he was overpriced for his area. He wasn't targeting the correct things. So, for example, in his specific situation, he was targeting, we'll call them lower payload houses, which is to say that, the jobs weren't worth as much. They were lower quality jobs. He was not able to get the same in the way of insurance, and naturally the customer falls off. And why was this? Well, it's because we didn't provide that D to Z or that A to Z conversation, and we didn't talk to him about the whole process. Because when we took into consideration everything in the process, we discovered that maybe we would have recommended something different to begin with. And I want to give you guys a couple more examples about being willing to have the hard conversation. So I'll never forget, I had this one gentleman, and he calls me up, and he just wanted Google Ads, and that's okay. I mean, we do a lot of Google Ads around here, and he was just talking about, I want to drive traffic to your website. And I was like, okay, well, let's start to talk about it. And he says, okay, so this is my website. And he shows me his website. And let me tell you, this thing looked like it came from the 1980s or something. One of the worst websites I've ever seen. And I was like, are you currently getting leads through this? And he says, well, I used to. I said, okay, I mean, I don't know how exactly, but I mean, I've seen crazier things. Now, I should mention that this gentleman particularly was a solar panel installer. So, one of his jobs was worth a tremendous amount of money. And he, he's like, well, I just want to give this a try. I was like, listen, man, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't think this is going to be a good fit for you. I don't think this is going to work. Your website is not in a position where I'd recommend using budget in order to apply it towards that. And he gets really mad at me because he says, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I used to get leads through this. I said, but you're not getting them now, right? And he says, well, no, but there's no reason that I shouldn't have. I was like, whoa. Internet's always changing, man. It's always adapting. God knows, since we've been in business, I mean, our interfaces change, our systems change, our processes change. It's just constantly changing, and you have to adapt to it as much and as quickly as possible. I don't think this is going to be a good fit. I'm sorry. Here's some other of my colleagues. I referred them out to somebody else. I said they'll just provide you with a Google Ads service like you're requesting, but I hope it works out. Best of luck to you. No hard feelings either way. He says, okay, so, that kind of calmed him down a little bit. And he called me. He called me about 2-3 months afterwards. And he says, I'm not getting any leads. My website's not working anymore. And I said, well, yeah, I mean, I told you so. I didn't say that to him. I should have. But I said, that's what happens, man. This is a changing environment. We need to put something in place, and we need to provide you with that A to Z service as opposed to just that A through D, that little piece of it. You wanted Google Ads, but you needed so much more. You needed so much more to get the result that you wanted. So when you're thinking about doing these things, if you're a digital marketing company, if you're a construction company, or if you're a construction company looking for a digital marketing company, just keep in mind that a lot of times people will recommend things that they know that will work in the long term as opposed to just a quick little Band-Aid fix on things. I want to talk a little bit more about hard conversations, though, because there's some other mistakes that we've made outside of that A to D versus A to Z. And by the way, one more comment about A to Z. The next step up to that is you go Z to A. So after you get that whole process figured out, start at the end result. What is the end result of what somebody needs? And work backwards from there. When you work backwards, you can find the best products and solutions for them. It's just the way that we approach things, and it's been extraordinarily successful for us over time as well. So I want to talk a little bit about some other times where it's good to have a hard conversation with folks. And this is one of the things that I'm super adamant on. It's the way that I will always run business. It's something that has been very successful for me, a feature, a belief, a conviction, whatever you want to call it, that's been really good for me. And that's with discount shopping or price shopping, things like that. So I don't discount services. I don't do it. I don't do it for my friends. I don't do it for anyone whatsoever. And there's a specific reason for that. First off, if you're my friend, you're actually my friend, you should know that I provide a good quality service at a good, fair price. It's something that, I work to grow businesses. I work to get people positive returns on investment. And that's why I charge what I do. I don't apologize for it. I'm in the business of making money, as I'm sure you are as well. And what I have found time and time over is that people that are interested in price gouging or price shopping, or they want a discount or the hookup there or something like that, I always say discount customers create discount problems. What happens every single time, and you want to help your customers, you want to provide excellent value for your customers, but what happens is that the more and more you start to do, the more and more they start to expect, and then you begin to harbor resentment for them because you're providing them so much more than you originally, set out to do, and the quality of the relationship, the quality of the nature of the business changes and it worsens based on that. Do what you're contracted to do and don't discount it. That's my recommendation anyways. Okay, last piece of this puzzle. Another hard conversation that I had with a gentleman, one of my core foundational elements that has worked out for me for a long time now. So I'll never forget. Listen, I live in the world too. I know that things happen, emergencies occur, things change. A customer calls you last minute. You gotta adapt and change to that. So you have to be a little bit flexible with your business. So I talked to this gentleman. He says he's interested in digital marketing. He was an HVAC provider, and he says, yeah, I'd love to talk to you about HVAC. Why don't you stop by my office on this day? And I say, okay, that sounds great. I stop in. And he wasn't there. And he says, I show up, he's not here, something happened. Okay, no problem, I get it. That one's on me, one time, no problem. Call him up, what happened? He goes, oh my God, I got in with a customer and it ran late, whatever. It wasn't anything overly crazy or anything like that. And so then I was like, okay, well, what's a good time that we can fix this, we can change, we can discuss marketing or whatever. And so he gives me another time, and you already know where the story's going, I think. But he no-shows me again. And so I don't even call. No showed me again. I showed up at his office. I drove away from our office, showed up at his office to talk to him, prepared some stuff ahead of time. Obviously, I want his business, and no shows me again. Done. I never even called him back. And I get a call from him a couple days later. He goes, "Hey man, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bail out on you, but this thing happened, and it wasn't anything major, but it was something, whatever, client, business relationship or whatever." Now, I just want to put this out there. This is the way that I choose to do business, not necessarily the way that you need to do business. You have to choose your own thresholds of pain, I'll call them, as far as what you're willing to put up with a customer. So when he calls me, he goes, "Hey, can we reschedule?" Oh, listen, man, I'm really sorry, but you have bailed on me twice. I wasted my time to go up to your office, and I don't appreciate that. I realize that things happen, but that's not the way that I do business. I don't do business with people like that because it's not going to be a good relationship in the long term. I'm sorry, I can't do business with you. And that was that. And let me tell you, that's one of those things where when I made that decision, it's definitely not my nature to turn down business. But as soon as I made that decision, I felt righteous in that decision, first off, but I just knew in the long term, or at least I felt like, that would have been a horrible contract to work with moving forward. A lot of things that we do with marketing are very dialogue-based. We have to talk to our customers, and God knows I don't want to chase down invoices. I don't want to chase down conversations. I don't want to chase down dialogue. I just don't want to be in business with somebody that's too busy to deal with me. And by the way, if you're one of those people that's too busy to deal with somebody, I guarantee you there's somebody out there that's doing a whole lot more with a whole lot less time. They're still making the time for people. So at the end of the day, I find that to just be an excuse. So be willing to have the hard conversations, stick to your bones, stick to your guns, and we'll see you next time.